We're in today with the RTX 3070 from Palette. This is a 2020 video card with 5888 shaders. It's got 8 gig of VRAM GDDR6 Samsung, 1500 MHz on the core clock and 1750 MHz on the memory clock. 256 bits bus width, and we're gonna pair it up with this E5 2699V4. Today's purpose is going to be to test this CPU with this RTX 3070 because I want to see the difference between 22 cores and 6 cores. 2.8 gig with 22 cores or 3.1 with 6 cores. Let's jump in a couple of games and see how it holds. This is how it's going to happen. I got 4K resolution with DSR. I'm going to put lowest details and maximum details. If it's with ray tracing, it's not ray tracing, doesn't matter. You just try to find the maximum resolution and the lowest resolution. If we have on the lowest resolution some like frame generation or upscaling, gonna use it because we want to distress the video card as much as possible. On lowest details and on maximum details, there needs to be some difference in the performance between 22 cores and 6 cores. On the settings, I have lowest details as a preset with 4K on the resolution. I want to pass by here. I want to take a walk and see how much this computer is utilizing. You know, how many watts, how many FPS on average, and the FPS on average is kind of good. You know, 98 FPS on average is kind of good, but the minimals is 25 with 43. On the CPU side, you can actually see it's utilizing the CPU. Okay, let's go here and see if we can get some averages. 2.8, 2800 megahertz on the CPU side with 400 watts consumption nearly. And yeah, there's a couple of threads that are reaching maximum, and that's it. Very interesting performance overall. I like it. I'm going to go in the settings and I'm going to put graphics and I'm going to put ultra. I'm not going to put overdrive because that's a stupid thing. DLSS super resolution, it's automatic, so it needs to do its own job, seriously. So I will take this as a preset. You can clearly see it's being loaded just a little more. You know, the video card itself, it's put to the wall, you know, 40 FPS on average and 22 on minimal and 27 on 1%. Overall performance is great. I'm 100% sure there's a lot of people who will put DLSS on different type of settings, but I left it as a preset so I can see next time when I'm entering with less cores. Maybe this CPU will help. From core 1, you can actually see that the threads are being maxed out, you know, see, only a couple of them. I got low as a preset, and I'm gonna use FSR frame generation on because this is actually good and it can actually boost a lot of FPS. Let's see. We need to average in Starfield with low details and FSR with frame generation as many FPS as possible to see which one it's cracking. But you can actually see in this situation that the GPU it's on 93% load on the core of the video card. 57 degrees, 5.7 gig of VRAM utilization, but on the core side with this it's kind of fantastic, you know, so I will take this. I like it. I like this type of combination with this video card in Starfield because even on low details it looks fantastic. Frame generation doesn't impact apparently the quality here. I don't see a lot of bugs, I don't see a lot of artifacts, and I like this. It's like voodoo magic for Starfield, seriously. I don't know what the heck they were thinking, but I like it, you know. I like the wattage here, 401 I seen at one point, but hopefully I get the real number, 402.9, 404. Okay, so 404 watts consumption from this computer. I like it, seriously. I like this type of performance from this computer with this video card. I'm gonna put it here on ultra with FSR and frame generation on. This is actually fantastic. This is exactly what I need, you know. You can see that the cores and the threads are doing a fantastic job on holding this video card accountable, you know. So if you're interested, oh, the minimals are so. If you're interested on actually playing Starfield with this video card and this CPU, you need to understand that sometimes it's you don't need to disable those cores. I think it's gonna be the same or worse. I think having 22 cores and 44 threads, it's a benefit. With this amount of cash, I will say this is a fantastic experiment. I'm very happy that I have the opportunity to test it like this, you know, so definitely a good thing to see here. Alright, so I've been driving in PUBG with very low quality, 100% render scale. This is 4K apparently, and with this amount of quality and this type of resolution, you get this amount of FPS. I like this idea because now I have the motorcycle with me, and I can average some FPS by just going around and see if I can load the texture, you know, and see if it's stuttering. But yeah, I do get some horrible minimals in this situation. How many FPS I get? 106 FPS on average. I mean, what more can you ask from this game? Seriously. Let's go into the settings and use this as a preset, Ultra, and put maximum load here. The average is good here, seriously. Even with this one, it's kind of good. But you can actually see the threads are being maxed out, a couple of them, and that's it. This stops there, but the FPS is giving me nearly the same. This is actually interesting. I thought I will never... Man, I actually learned something today. 110, 11 minimals. I'll take that because it's the lowest. 30, 34, 39, 32, 1% with 403. Alright, but if we're going in Counter-Strike with this system on lowest details as a preset with this resolution 4K, you can actually see that the system is averaging really nice, you know. So the CPU side, it's kind of good. On the GPU side, there's no problem. 4.1 gig of VRAM, only 50-60% load on the core of the video card, so the GPU is actually fantastic. But on the CPU side, you can clearly see that it's doing a fantastic work. In this case, the system is offering me nice FPS on average. You can clearly see that it's giving me around 150 FPS on average. I'll take this 150 with 38 on minimals, maybe plus minus. So I will take this. This number is actually good on 38 on minimal. 338, 49, 349 watts. Go into the preset and I'm gonna put it on very high. I'm looking at this guy and how he's playing. I keep flipping the pistol. Oh yeah, no. Oh, he managed to... Whoa, you're disgusting. Ow! But regardless, I like it. I like this performance overall from this computer now with maximum details. You can actually see it's doing a fantastic job. Trying to average here. Apparently, in some cases, I get better minimals and 1% in some cases when I put maximum details. Makes no sense, seriously. All right, so how many FPS I got? 91, 16 to 47. Really like this performance with this computer in this situation. But yeah, let's move to the next game. Alright, so in GTA 5 apparently with normal details is doing a fantastic work. I like this type of performance and there is no problem here. I really like how it's working with normal details. Normal details in GTA 5 with this CPU and this GPU, it's kind of interesting, seriously, because look at my thread. I knew something was wrong, seriously, because that's the only thing I can show you. Look at that one stupid thread that is making my game lag 50-60 FPS with this mammoth of a CPU. Look at that. One. If I go on this street with a car, with a normal car, you can literally see that I got around 60 FPS on average. Not driving super fast, not driving super low. I mean, an average speed, you know, because if you drive super fast, then the FPS will drop way too low. Driving here on the street, so I can average the FPS here with this CPU and this amount of details. I'm gonna put everything on maximum quality here, and it looks fantastic, you know, but I can average more than this. So I think a good average here is 50, 25, and 35. It makes no sense to get better minimals than on lower details. Seriously, and sometimes it makes no sense. I'm guessing that's the reason why from low quality to high quality it's got lower minimals on lower details, you know. I think that's the reason, you know, because it doesn't load up, how should I say, the view distance, and only when you reach it. And when you have high quality, you see it because you got a big view distance and it's preloaded. I'm guessing that's the reason I got higher minimals on higher quality. Very interesting test that I managed to have today because I've been recommended by multiple people in the comment section to disable the cores for the CPU to increase the frequency. I did this today. I'm going to leave an how shall I say, unlisted link in the description so you can see
the one with the 6 cores and 3100 megahertz on the CPU, because it's nearly the same. And I will show you what because I've wrote down a couple of FPS that I managed to see, 2 things that I managed to find, but majority of them, they are nearly the same. Listen, I've wrote it down like I'm in school, you know. So with 22 cores and 6 cores, low details, maximum details, low details, maximum details, averages 1%, the wattage on all of them, and that's it. Cyberpunk, Starfield, PUBG, and CS, Counter-Strike, and GTA 5. You know, so most of the time the numbers are nearly the same. You know, so in this situation, if you see a little difference, but I'm 100% they are the same. Yeah. For instance, in Starfield, averages are the same. So on averages on low details are the same. Averages in PUBG is it's very interesting with 22 cores, and when it comes to low details, then maximum details, you see that this is very important. 48 FPS on average with maximum details with 6 cores. This is stupid. Only thing that I managed to see a difference was in GTA 5, that I had 56 FPS on average with 50 on maximum, and 59 on with 6 cores, nearly 60 FPS, and that's it. This is the only advantage that I managed to have. And of course the wattage, that was how many? 210 watts versus 240 watts. That's it. PUBG managed to lose FPS. I managed to answer my question when it comes, is it worth disabling cores in order to gain higher frequency to gain FPS? Apparently only a couple of games are benefiting. For instance, if I manage to put the CPU in this instance for gaining only 10 FPS, I will not disable it. I will leave it with 22 cores and I will call it a day, because majority of the time in the future, newer game will benefit from this type of CPU. 10 FPS in GTA 5, it's not worth disabling the cores, in my opinion, because you have to go there, disable the cores, put it. I'm 100% sure it will be beneficial if this CPU will have been version 3, so I can overclock it. I think this will have been a different type of story with a lot of cores and higher frequency. With it will have been much better. So this variant of CPU is not worth disabling, but I'm 100% sure the version 3 with 18 cores and higher frequency will have been much better, because you can overclock it, maybe disable to 12 cores or something like that, and increase the frequency. It would have been much better to be unlocked on the CPU. But on this CPU, on 22 cores, it's okay, seriously. Regardless, if you have a suggestion in the future with this CPU or with this platform or this GPU, leave a comment and I will see you very soon.